Hey guys, it's time to buckle up because we have another good story from Roller Reddit. You cheat with the guy I hate the most. I can play that too. So I went to use my wife's phone and she had Facebook open and she was speaking to this piece of that I used to be good friends with a little background on the guy. He was from the old neighborhood, so we became friends over basketball and I would protect him from troubles. But as years go by, I notice he's into girls younger than him, so I can't be friends or associated with that. We get into a fight, he had to get his jaw wired shut. No more about him. So my ex-wife was talking to him, and she is somewhat naive, she didn't know he was flirting with her. He said they should meet one day over coffee on Wednesday and she agreed. At this time, she and I were through a rough patch. We got married young at 19, but I thought she was the one for me, and we've had 3 kids since then. I call my boss and tell him I need Wednesday off because of family issues, and he told me it's fine. I read her messages again, and they agreed to meet at Starbucks. So when it was time for them to meet up, I pretend to go to work, but wait outside a block away. I see he picked her up and go to Starbucks in downtown. I follow them there and stay in the car. At this time I'm texting all my friends, saying the old me came back and what's going on. 2 of my friends are lawyers, and thankfully they helped me write up a separation and start the divorce papers. I follow the pieces of out of Starbucks and see that they are going to his house. Now I just park and give it 2 minutes before I knock on the door. So I knock on the door, I head down so they can't see me through the peephole, and when I hear the door opening up, I barge in and he looks at me like he saw a ghost. I saw my ex-wife in her bra, and all I say, "So this is what you do in your free time?" I leave. She chases me outside crying, saying how she doesn't know what's going on with her. How they didn't have sex, but I quickly told her duck off. Don't come back to the house, and if I see you with him, asking what will happen. As I'm leaving, he throws her out and I see he was really scared. Which, to be fair, I've done badly in my past. Yes, but he knows me, and he knows the I've done and knows what I'm capable of doing. I go on her Facebook and read a message from him saying stay the duck away from me. She tries coming back to the house, and I tell her if she steps any more into the house, I will tell her whole family what she did. She walks out crying, asking for her stuff, and I just threw that trash outside and told her to duck off. One of my friends came to my house who happens to be a cop, and says the piece of filed a restraining order on me and my wife, saying we have to be 100 feet away from him. He knew it was going and told me how some words got to some people, how the piece of has a ducked-up fetish, and how he was avoiding some people, and he happened to be dropped off at the old neighborhood after he filed the restraining orders. I told him I want a restraining order on my wife until we get the divorce. Soon I tell the kids how we won't be seeing mom for a while, and I call her from an app telling her she can say explain herself to the kids, and she can have the kids on the weekend, but to stay away from me. I cut her before she says the whole "I'm sorry, forgive me." So now the real revenge comes as we're going through the divorce. We have to go through an online course for the kids, which was the most pointless $20 I've ever spent. We have everything settled. The judge agreed that the prenup is valid, so the bit doesn't get any alimony. We sell the house and split it 50-50. I use my half to get a nice loft and still have some money left to get a new car. We're in court now, and the judge tells us, "Do you guys really have everything settled?" I'm happy, I'm saying yes. But she decides to burst out crying again, saying she's not this and that, and thanks to that we had to go to child support, where kids have to say where they want to live. I thought about telling them how mommy doesn't believe in Santa Claus, but I didn't. I accepted the weekends to have the kids because since she didn't really work, and she went to move back to her parents who have more than enough money to maintain all of the kids, but because of my job I can't pick up 2 of them from school and keep a 2-year-old at my job, but I was happy. Her little sister came over to drop off the kids and asked me how I was feeling. Quickly used it to my benefit and told her how I felt lonely and sad because I lost the one true love in my life. Her sister stayed over and made the kids and I dinner, and she stayed after to talk, and I told her how much I missed being with her sister, but what she did isn't forgivable, and she was agreeing with me, and then we started kissing, and it led to sex. I started working out and get into better shape and maintain a bit of a relationship with her sister, until I FaceTimed her one day, and my ex-wife was around, and she heard my voice, and all I heard was them two arguing how she betrayed her, and how my ex apparently told her to see if there was any chance to get back together. I forgave my ex-wife, to be honest, but I didn't want to talk to her or see her. Now her cousins took turns bringing the kids over, and then I did the story to her cousins, and one of them I started to be FWB with them. Then my ex-wife came over once, but I told her to stay outside and she's not allowed inside. She tried saying how she's been to therapy and how she's a new person and just wanted a chance. I forgave her, but she started to make me mad because I was just done with her. I'd accidentally blurted how I slept with her cousin, and she started to cry and I left her outside to cry. Now, I've moved on. I'm FWB with 2 girls who I'd date any one of them. I'm still young, only 29. My ex-wife had gotten in bad shape while I'm going to the gym and working on myself constantly. I mean, I do miss a lot of the things she's done for me, but what she did was bad, and I'll never let it go. Story 2. She cheated on me twice, and I miss my cheating ex and her family, but I know I shouldn't. So we started the relationship in May 2017. I had gut feelings 2 months into the relationship that she didn't seem like she was entirely into the relationship. I had suspicions from how private she told me she was about introducing people to her family and how secretive she was with her phone. She never shared any pics of us on her IG account and took so long for her to finally share pics of us on her FB/say we were official. I damn near had to beg for her to show us off. But after a Thanksgiving event with her family while she was cooking, I saw her phone keep going off. She always kept it on silent. I check it because in the beginning of the relationship we agreed to sharing passcodes. Remember that part? I see someone texting her via Snap. I check, and it's some guy asking how her day is going and he misses her. I asked her who it was, and she said, just a friend. I tucked the convo away for later. A couple days after that event, she's sleeping over at my place, and early in the her phone goes off, light on the phone. I look at it, and it's the same guy. I'd open the phone to see it's the friend. I open her phone via her passcode. I see they've been talking for many months. They sparingly talk throughout every day. He slips in some sexual talk about how he misses her body, asks about her, and also says how he wants to see her again after seeing her recently apparently. I took screenshots of their conversation, and then I woke her up and confronted her. She immediately gets defensive and is mad about how I went into her phone and invaded her privacy. I tell her I can't invade someone's privacy when she gave me her passcode. I ask her who he is and how I've had suspicions from how she's been acting. She kept denying about who he was, calling him just a friend, until I told her to stop lying. She tells me that they used to date and had sex, but it didn't work out. She tells me she only talked with him of all people because I work nights and she had nobody to talk to. And he isn't always sexual. So you choose him. So I never tell her about the screenshots because I wanted to show her family but didn't. But flip on her about lying to me and talking to an old friend that she used to lay with. I reminded her how in the beginning of the relationship we agreed to not talk to anybody we used to like/be with, currently talking to or wanted to talk/be with. I told her how she's messed up big and it won't be easy to fix things. After that, trust was destroyed obviously, and I told her what she had to do to rebuild my trust in her. Aka show me her phone from time to time, make me feel like I'm wanted and appreciated, which she complained about showing her phone. Fast forward the years of more ups than downs. I think things are getting better, but only because we swept things under the rug. I struggle with the fact that she still hasn't done what I asked to. Help me build trust in her. She constantly changed her passcode, and even said at one point, "What's the point of looking in my phone because I can just change the name in my phone and nobody would know." She would also say things like that she's never dated anyone under 5'11". I'm all of 5'6", and she's 5'3", and just making me feel insecure. I had many signs to just leave from her: emotionally cheating, lying, being deceitful, etc. Things started spiraling, and she went out to a bar on a weekend after I brought up the same issue of wanting her to help me build trust in her, since she thinks just telling me that her guy friends are just friends and I should trust her, not realizing that her words are not enough anymore. Fast forward a couple days and she texts me that she has something to tell me. She texts me that she kissed someone else recently. She apparently went to a bar and danced/kissed some guy. She shoved him away when she realized it wasn't me. Again, another lie most likely. I blow her phone up trying to get her to answer, and she has the nerve to text me that she's on a call. Who the hell else is more important to talk with than me? I text her mom that she's cheating on me since she lived with her parents still. I sent her the screenshot I took of her daughter telling me she cheated at the bar. My ex gets mad that I'm telling her family what she's done wrong, but she felt okay to tell her mom and sis about when we had arguments sharing our business. She finally picks up a video call and I tell her to start talking. She says how she felt lonely event though I saw her mostly every weekend, send flowers to her job randomly, buy her lunch, and drive an HR to eat with her, etc. So she's not lonely. She has the pitiful look on her face while I chew her out. I asked why would she do all of this knowing I have trust issues and we have a long-distance relationship. Why do such a thing? My thoughts were that she didn't care and wanted to get rid of me. She only texted me for my B-day, but took me out to dinner. She said she thought it would help things. I opted for couples therapy. I read tons of articles and books on relationships. I even offered to bring them and read together and do the work they talked about together. She still declined. She said she read articles but never showed them to me when I asked. So most likely another lie. I started researching therapists and landed on one down by her area. I paid for us to go, and she only showed to 3 sessions, and was, from the therapist's words, she was cold and argumentative. Didn't want to talk about herself, but was willing to point out your shortcomings. She never came back saying she was angry at the sessions. She left 2020 after we shared Christmas with our families. 'Cause I was still holding out for love. I also found out she went back talking to the same guy I caught her texting as earlier. Guess I was weak 'cause she left Jan 3rd by text. Fast forward a couple months of sparingly texting 'cause we both were hard to let go of the relationship. I stopped talking to her for a couple weeks and I finally break and ask how she's been. She says she's getting her own spot and moving the next day. I still loving her said I could help her move. I show up the next day and her family is super happy to see me. I should have put her on the spot then and tell her family about her cheating even though her mom knows already and doesn't bring it up too much 'cause it bothers my daughter and I don't want her mad at me. But you won't hold her accountable for her actions. I help her move and even go shopping with her for stuff in her new app. I try to talk Abbott hoping we can have a clear heart-to-heart sit-down. Nothing. But we talk as if nothing's changed between us. All in her running around for days getting her app in order with little sleep. I go even further out my way and make a list of groceries and buy her food and wine to fill her fridge. I want to sit with her and talk about all we've been through, but I let her sleep. The next month she tells me in a long text about how we should move on and how it's better for us. Oh, she never apologized for anything. The one time she did was in her last text saying, I know, I made some mistakes. That was it. The only time in 2.8 as she's ever apologized. Says she had long to think about all we've been through. When in actuality I already knew about her new guy she was talking to long before she put it on FB and back. When I was helping her move I knew she was talking to someone. I'm sorry for the super long rant. It still hurts knowing I did all of this and loved her deeply. Our families were great together and loved each of us. We were a power couple on their eyes. Best friends. The first young woman I really wanted to marry. We talked about baby names, wedding ideas, future vacations, etc. Crazy how you can blame me for calling you out on your BS and trying to hold you accountable. But you go and tell people I'm insecure or controlling. I was a cop so would say that me questioning her was like an interrogation. Lol, well yeah, I'm gonna question you if you've lied. She'd been very secretive and deceitful. I just wanted the one who said she loved me to actually mean it and work at being sincere and fixing her mistakes. Know my shortcomings and I apologized for the role I played to her and the therapists, but I know I tried to fix things. Her mother and brother-in-law are the only ones that saw the screenshots and know the truth. Like I said, I'm sorry for the rant. She moved on rather quick and just makes me feel like she never loved me and it was all an act. Because her family loved me. I just miss her and her family. Everything felt so right. Not the downsides, obviously. Again, sorry. Am I wrong to feel this way?